Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Naguib Sawiris. Firstly, thanks for having time for the interview. As we know that you have visited Uzbekistan several times, how is your impression so far?
I think the Uzbek people are very warm people, and they have a culture of welcoming the visitors, you know, and also they are very, I must say, very disciplined. So it's a combination of being warm and hospitable, and at the same time disciplined, kind of like the Japanese people away when they are so and disciplined,
Yeah.
So I must say I'm a very emotional person, and for me in my life and my business, it's important what I feel about people. So as much as I fell in love with your people, I also fell in love with your president, and I will explain why later.
This is actually was interesting and I wanted to ask you. You wrote on your Twitter, "Bravo President," after you visited Uzbekistan. What makes you to feel like that?
For the investors, it's very important to get to feel that the head of the country who sets the goals and the strategy of his country is full on board of supporting the investors with one goal only, and that is to grow the economy of Uzbekistan. Most presidents think it will happen on its own, or they leave it to some minister, or how can I say, other civil servants. Um, uh, But this president decided to take this mission in his own hand and meet with all the investors together and on one-on-one too. So the investor really cannot dream of such treatment and cannot hope for more than that. Why? Because then he knows if he has a problem, or there is any obstacles, or there is any bureaucracy, that the president will jump in and solve it because he wants you to succeed, so Uzbekistan succeeds. So many people can be happy that they are president and just do world politics and this and that, and not really go deep into the problem, and so the country can prosper and become the best place on the world for to invest.
Mr. Sawiris, you participated in the third Tashkent International Investment Forum and you witnessed business atmosphere here. Could you share your assessments of the economic and investment opportunities in our country?
Well, first about the forum was so well organized. So from the minute we arrived till we went to the opening of the forum, till the sessions we attended, till the meeting attended by the president, everything was well organized, very disciplined. There was no confusion or bad mismanagement or undisciplined. So everything was done in perfection.
Yeah.
Now, why is that is important? Because it gives a image on the country too.
Yes, exactly.
I visited many countries, attended many forums, and you can go and then it becomes a bit messy, not organized. The buses are late. You are not received at the airport. You don't find your place to sit. So all these organizational issues were done perfectly. And then also the topics of the forum were very, very serious for topics addressing the need from our side for the knowledge we need, and also addressing all the different areas for all the different investors. And then, of course, the country is in a very good position for an investor because it's a country that is industrialized, it has progressed, but it has still a very long way to become one of the major economic hubs in the world. So for the investor, this is an opportunity that makes him feel he's coming at the right time. So from our point of view, because our investments are mainly in two significant areas. One is industrial agriculture. So we are building one of the, it's going to be the only sugar factory in Uzbekistan. because Uzbekistan is importing all the sugar from outside.
Yes.
Why is this project? It's going to be one of the most difficult projects for me in my career because of the weather is different, the soil is different, the farming process is different. But the one important thing is that Uzbekistan is importing all its sugar needs from outside. So suddenly, when you, inshallah, when in 2-3 years, when we have the factory, first of all, what will happen? All the farmers who will farm the beet are Uzbek farmers. So they will have a new source of income supplying the beet to our factory. Then building the factory and all the workers who are going to work in the factory are all going to be 95% Uzbek people, So we are going to provide at least between 1,000 and 3,000 jobs, well-paid jobs in the factory. And the third point, Uzbekistan will not need to spend any more foreign currency dollars to import the sugar, because it will be local sugar, and normally this projects investors don't want to do because it's very long term, over 3-4 years to build a factory and to start agriculture, as you know, is also something that takes a longer time to do the beet and so on. But for me, two things are driving me. One, I'm going to be very famous as the only sugar producer in Uzbekistan, and I like very difficult missions. At the same time, it's a fact that from an economical point of view, you're going to be producing something that was not ever produced inside the country. The field we are in is the mining. And while Uzbekistan has a lot of successful mines, but it has a big portfolio of mining opportunities that have not been touched because of lack of investments, because the government cannot do all the work on its own. It needs investors. So we found a good project, and finally we got the permit to start drilling. So we hope that we will be lucky and we will find exactly the minerals we came for.
Each time when you visit Uzbekistan, you met with President Shavkat Mirziyoyev. It's interesting to know how did your meetings with the President of Uzbekistan influence your decisions on investment cooperation and projects implementation across various sectors of our economy?
As I said, I'm a very emotional person.
Yeah.
So even though I don't speak Uzbek, but without even the language, the body language,
yes, it's
was very important. It was very positive, and I think that the president feels that I respect him very much. I honor him, and at the same time, I like him very much. I'm always very impressed with people who try to do something different, try to do the best for their country. And this is the feeling I got when I met him. And it's a big driver for me.
So you mean that this feeling helps you to focus to Uzbekistan to invest, right? And to the sector. We can say
it didn't change my opinion. It encouraged me. My opinion was always very positive about Uzbekistan, but it made it for me more personal to be involved.
As a businessman, you must have a vision on your work and efforts. Since 2016, Uzbekistan has undergone significant reforms, enhancing its image as a promising and reliable partner on the international stage. As an Egyptian businessman, what aspects of Uzbekistan do you find interesting today? And which areas do you consider most promising for the investment?
It's about how Uzbekistan is presenting itself. You understand, no investor will go to a country because it's the biggest country in the world or it's has the biggest army or the biggest economy. The investor looks, where can I invest? Where I do good for the people and I make good for myself. So Uzbekistan is definitely a country that is providing that. One area we looked at, and it's very promising also, and it's not fully developed, and that's tourism.
Yeah, we are trying for this. We are doing.
So many investors should look at tourism, building hotels and resorts. That's one area, and also I find a lot of opportunities in agriculture because not all the land in Uzbekistan is utilized, and many countries don't have land and water. So also there is a lot of area there to invest, you know. Also, I think in the financial activities, digital banks, modern technologies, and all that is still also available in Uzbekistan, you know. So that would be my advice for other investors. You know, no, there is a big progress, and what is interesting in Uzbekistan, every year when I go, there are new improvements, new laws to make everything easier. It's not like they stopped at the first good thing. You know, some people do something good and they sit and say, hurrah, you know. No, they are looking over and over every time. And as long as you're reasonable with what you're asking, the government immediately reacts and provides. And the president has surrounded himself with very knowledgeable, aggressive, young, talented Uzbek people who are good advisors and are also are good for the investor when he comes to facilitate all his demands.
What advice would you give to business people who has just started or already running any kind of business? Your advice will be useful for them, that considering it's with the eyes of the business.
Advice is always not to stop at the first obstacle. Wherever you go, you will find obstacles. So you have to be very strong and determined to achieve your goal. And you can't just stop by the first obstacle. So always be a fighter. Go with your complaint to the government, go to even up to the president and tell him, I want to do this, please help me to solve this. So endurance and persistence, you know, that's my advice. Yeah.
And this is what you did in your career? Or
all my life, yes. Or I will not be where I was today. When someone used to tell me when I was younger even, it's impossible, we cannot do this. I said, do you want to bet? You want to bet that I can do it?
Yes.
So
this is a challenge, actually. Yes.
Yeah. I am very happy. I have to tell you last word. You asked me. I'm very happy in your country. And every time I'm visiting with a joy. Because I feel I'm doing a very challenging project. And once the day I'm going to open the factory and I'm going to hold the first box of sugar, I'm going to be a very proud person, you know. Yes. Imagine you are the person who provided now all the sugar of one country in the world. It's nice. In Egypt, I have a factory of sugar, but there are 6, 7 factories. So I'm not the only one. My factory, to be honest, is the best, but still there are 6, 7 others. You know.
Soon we will be celebrating Independence Day of Uzbekistan. It would be good to know your wishes on this. What message or wishes would you like to convey to the Uzbek people?
It's always to stay independent in the next history, to stay independent and to fight for independence, because each country has the right to determine its own policies and wishes. And therefore, I congratulate you for Independence Day, and my wish is for you to always stay independent.
Mr. Naguib, thank you for all the information and the warm wishes and words. We really appreciate your time, and we will be happy to see you in Uzbekistan again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. My honor too.